g'day guys, it's Curly from the QuadSkate channel. How are you today? Today I'm going to be doing a demonstration and a review of the new bearing press puller from LXT.com or LXT. I won't go into the price and such of the bearing press and puller because obviously exchange rates, different currencies make the price different, and you could be watching this down the track 6 months or a year or 2 years down the track from this date, which is the 17th of the 7th, 2021, while we're in a COVID lockdown. All right. So when you first get your LXT bearing press, the only thing you'll have to actually assemble is the handle. Now, it's threaded on the end. I can see, if you see it's thread there, I'll put that up there. You can see the basically threaded handle. That goes into the appropriate part just in here, and we just screw it in. Oh, put that down for a second. We just screw that in so it catches. In that first thread to go, there we go, threading. And we just seat it down until the handle is in a position what you find handy for you. You might find it left or right-handed. I prefer to have it so this is the pulling pin. I like to have the handle so it's basically going over the body of the press. I mean, you can put it that way if you want, if that makes it easy for you, but I prefer you put it in a position that really that is comfortable for you. So you screw it down, and then just the lock nut here, you just tighten that lock nut down so it's nice and firm. Okay, so just tighten there. And there we go, ready to go. Simple. So what I've got today, this bearing press, what's good about this bearing press, is good for inline wheels, and it's also good for quad wheels. So use both. This is a 110mm inline wheel, but I've been told by Rahul that it does take up to 125mm inline wheel. And we have a 100mm inline wheel here, and we have a Scott Corey wheel with JG hubs. It's never had a bearings put in it, so I'm going to put bearings in that. And I also have the super light huggers, SLT huggers, which come off the Owl refurbished skate. Now, these bearings have been in there for probably about 35 or 40 years on that, so they haven't been taken out. They are in a plastic hub, so we've got a plastic hub wheel, we've got a plastic hub road wheel, and we have a metal hub track wheel. So a bit of variety there, just so you can see all the different variations of wheels. We also have a metal hub old inline wheel for my nephew and niece, which the bearings in there are probably seized in there because they were riding out in the rain. So I'll see how the bearing press handles taking those out. And we have the plastic hub inline wheel, 110mm, and the plastic hub 110, 100. Okay, let's get to it. The bearings I'm going to be using today are LXT bearings. I'll just put that in so you can see that nice little, these are just a normal steel bearing. I'll put the description in the bottom of which ones they are. But they're beautiful bearing. They're just a steel bearing. They're not a ceramic, but they're just a standard steel bearing, but they're still very, very beautiful, very nice bearing. That's those bearings there. And you can see they are a 627 RS ABEC 9 quad racing bearing. So you can see that there. That's not going too much out of focus. So that's the bearings I'm going to be using today. Bearing in mind, no pun intended, that the inline wheels will take 8mm bearings. So I do have a pair of 8mm bearings also already inserted in one of the plastic hubs. And I also have these ones, the 8mm bearings, which are in the old, crappy old inline wheels that are seized. All right, so a lot of you have probably used a bearing press before. I haven't had one for about 40 years. I gave it away to a friend, and I never actually put it back. So what I'll do is I'll just put these to the side a bit. We'll do the inline wheels first, put these to the side a little bit. And I think what I will tackle first, that this could be a disaster waiting to happen, I'm going to tackle the inline wheel that has been ridden out in the rain, and they're probably seized very much. Now, I'm not sure if you know with inline wheels, and a lot of you probably do, that inline wheels do tend to use a spacer in between. And the spacer actually floats sort of inside in between the bearings. So when you place the pulling pin. I'll show you this is the pulling pin. I'll just get a bit close up to that one as well. You'll see there the pulling pin has like a groove in it. That's where the bearing sits. I'll just go to the bearing. So the bearing basically sits in the groove. So it slots down. So basically it grabs the bearing and can pull it out. So what you have to do with the inline wheels is just have to make sure that spacer slides out of the way to allow the pin to catch onto the bearing. So here we go. So I'm just going to, all right, it feels like it's catched the cord onto the pin. And here we go. See how this goes on the pin. Whoop, fell off there for a second. So because it's been in there for a while, I might just have to push down and give it a bit of a whack because they have been in there for a fair while and they're seized from the rain. Oh, they're really seized in there. So, yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue with them ones because they haven't. Oh, that's better. I think these. Okay. What I'll do first demo. I'll do it on the plastic wheel because I know the. So there you go. I'll show you the spacer actually. Might make it a bit more understandable what happens. So basically what happens with inline wheels is the bearing goes in, the spacer goes in between. But that spacer does sort of tend to float around a bit, gives you a bit of free play so you can get the pin to catch onto the bearing. The bearing came out of that one pretty good, but I think because these have been in the rain, the spacer is not sliding out of the way, so I can't get a grip of the wheel. Now that's not a fault of the bearing press, that's a fault of the spacer and riding in the rain and so forth. So I'm going to give one more try on this. I'll get down, see if I can get that pin to move out of the way. Now they're well and truly seized in there, so that's a bit of a hiccup or I think, but that's the Murphy's Law for you, I suppose. Okay guys, I'm back. Look, I didn't have much success with that that inline wheel. It's really seized in there. So like I said, that's not a fault bearing press, that happens. And I might just have to put that some WD-40 on that, leave that for another time to get that bearing out. But you gave them to me probably about 6 months ago. They've been sitting there, they've been in the rain, been sitting there for 6 months, so they're probably seized to the max. So once again, you'll have the problem with any bearing press to get those out. So we'll have to find a different method to do that. Maybe put them in the freezer. So that's a method of putting the thing in the freezer that the metal contracts. Anyway, let's just get back to the demonstration and to the review of the bearing press. All right, so we'll keep going with the inlines. So we've got one side out. So once again, you just put the wheel on, so it drops down over the pin, and there you go. Comes out nice, beautiful. Comes out nice and easy. Like I said, if this was a different sort of wheel, a metal hub wheel, a bit harder, but plastic hubs, they do go in and out a lot easier. Sorry, waffling on it, but I was a bit frustrated about that wheel not working. But like I said, not a fault of the bearing press at all. All right, so to put wheels back on, what you do first do is you put the bearing on, and these are 8mm bearings, so it does handle 8mm bearings, and it does handle micro bearings. So 8mm bearing goes on, the wheel goes on, the spacer goes down, the other bearing goes in. You just give it a slight little push so they line up, and push in, and there you go. Now the reason it's wobbling is because it's not the bearing, this shaft is 7mm to accommodate the 7mm bearing. But it will take 8mm bearings as well, so don't worry about that. If you've got 8 or 7mm bearings, it will do both. So that's good. All right, so let's go. Once again, which is a demonstration of getting the bearing out. Push down so it moves the spacer. Pop the bearing out, pop the spacer out. Bang. There you go, both bearings out. Put those to the side. I think that's enough of inline wheels. So like I said, this is the Pod Scat channel, so we don't need to muck around those pesky inlines. Just know that it does work with inlines and 100, 110, right up to 125mm inline wheels. Okay, no worries. I'll put those to the side. Okay, so what we have here, what I'll do, another old bearings have been here for a fair while. Now these are in a plastic hub, so I'm assuming they'll probably come out like these here. But these have been here for 40 years. So it'll be interesting to see how easy they come out. Once again, we just put it in, so the pin, once again, I'll show you once again. So the pin has a little groove in it, down here, little groove, where the bearing, once again, where the bearing sits in. So you see it drops down and sits in and allows it to pull out. All right, so here we go. The SLT Huggers, 40 years bearing in there. And put the pin down and whoop, there it goes, pops it out straight away. So you can see those bearings are pretty old, pretty cruddy. So those bearings have been in there for a long, long time. I'm going to give them a clean up. A bit seized up, but they'll get a good clean up. So there's the other one, pop that out. And, oh, hang on. This one's a bit tighter. It's coming. Just needs a bit more oomph. And there we go. Second bearing out. All right, so I'll put that to the side because they're a bit dirty. Now, what I got here is the Laser X-Tech Poison outdoor wheel. Now, these are a same as the Atom Poison outdoor wheels, so they're just a rebranded thing, which is a common thing these days. Happens with cars and everything. So the bearing goes on, wheel goes on. Always make sure you put the bum side or the back side of the wheel down first. You put the other side down, I'll show you what it does. It doesn't really sit in there properly, and it pushes up against the. Should have cleaned my hands, but it was dirty. So best off to put the back side of the wheel down first, and put the bearing on, into the slot, push. There you go. And there's a little demonstration of these bearings. I'll let that spin for a little bit. So you see there, beautiful bearing, nice bearing. That's all you need. Nice steel bearings, good, love them. That's good spin. Not under load, but it's nice, spinning nicely. Push the bearings in, great. All right, that's great. Let's get those out of there so we can get back to the demonstration. So far, everything about this bearing press works fine. It's solid, it's sturdy, it does the job. Now, granted, it didn't work too well on the seized wheel, on the seized bearing inline wheels. But like I said, any bearing press is going to have that problem. So with a WD-40 or so forth. All right, so we'll just get these out. So I'll demonstrate once again to get the bearings out. Place it in, drops down over the pin, bang, out, and second one out. Beautiful, easy. All right, put the poison wheel to the side, bearings to the side. Okay, what I have here is a JG Scott. I'll tell you, grabbing these with dirty hands, people are going to scream, oh, you dirtied up the hubs. I'll clean up, don't worry, it's okay. All right, once again, these are a metal hub wheel. They're a wheel by Scott Corey. He's a Sydney-based wheel maker, quad tyre wheel maker. And he also does have some hubs as well he sells, but the hubs in these ones are from a guy called JG Hubs over in the States, Jim Garrett. I got these, the hubs were sent out, and then I got the tyres off Scott Corey, and he put them together for me with the circlip. So they're a removable wheel. Anyway, right, this is about the bearing press today, not about the wheel, Scott. I'll get to you later. Okay, so the bearing goes on, wheel goes on, backside first, other bearing, and bang. All right, they go in beautiful, nice and easy. All right, and once again, bit of a spinning demonstration. Spinning nicely. Okay, guys, I'll get the bearing out of this. So we see the bearing is coming out again. Bang, bang, out. Beautiful. Oh, these hubs are just so well made, so beautifully made. Beautiful. All right, look, there's not much else I can say about the bearing press. I mean, the bearing press works great. I don't think there's any problems with it. It's as good as any bearing press I've ever used before. And one good thing is if you do have if you're a family that has inlines and quads, you can use both. So that's a good advantage. A lot of the older bearing presses in the past only did quad wheels. that was probably before inlines were as big. But now there's a versatile. They are bearing puller and pusher. So they'll do both inlines up to 125 mil. They'll do quad wheels. They'll do 7 mil. They will do 8 mil wheels, bearings, sorry, and they will do micro bearings as well. I don't have my micro bearings here with me at the moment, but guarantee it, they work the same. It's the shaft, internal shaft. That's the internal diameter of the bearing. That's the main thing. So, look, I'm going to probably have a curly rating with your little heads down the bottom out of 10. So for this today, only because anything's 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give myself room for error here. I'll give this a 9.5 out of 10 curlies. So, like I said, 9.5 out of 10 curlies for the Laser LXT bearing press. Oh, the other thing I didn't show you, it's got a nice little embossed LXT in it. It's nice little touch. The only thing I would probably maybe do is, even though it's very, 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 very stable, is I might get a bit of get a board cut and screw it into a board so it head on your bench. But like I said, I have no problems with it. It's nice and stable. It's nicely finished. It's sturdy. It's well made. Like I said, I don't have any. I could gush on all day about this, but it's a fantastic bearing press. I'm so glad I have a bearing press again. But like I said, 9.5 curlies out of 10. All right, guys. This is Curly from the QuadSkate channel, signing out. So over and out. Be good, be safe, skate well. Love yous all. Catch you later. See ya. Bye.